I want to tell you something that's going to sound wrong at first. The most disciplined-looking people you follow online, the ones with the 5 a.m. workouts, the cold plunges, the perfectly structured days, the "I don't negotiate with my future self" captions, a significant number of them are performing discipline, not living it. I know because I was one of them. For about 7 months, I had the routine. Early mornings, no excuses, journaling, training, everything blocked out and color-coded. I talked about it, I posted about it. I genuinely believed I had cracked something most people hadn't. And then life got difficult. Not catastrophically difficult, just a few hard weeks in a row, some real stress, some genuine uncertainty. And the whole thing collapsed in about 9 days. Not because I was weak, but because what I'd built wasn't actually discipline. It was motivation wearing discipline's clothes. And motivation, as it turns out, is one of the least reliable things you can build a life around. That's what this video is really about. Here's the lie, and it's everywhere, so you've definitely absorbed some version of it. The lie is that discipline is a personality trait, that some people have it and some people don't, that the guys who wake up early and train consistently and do the hard things without complaining are just built differently. They have more willpower, more mental toughness, more of whatever the thing is that you feel like you're missing. And because it's framed as a trait, something you either have or you don't, the conversation always ends up in the same place. Either you're disciplined or you're making excuses. Either you want it badly enough or you don't. That framing is not only wrong, it's actively harmful because it turns a solvable problem into a character judgment. And character judgments don't give you anything to work with.
Let me tell you what discipline actually is, because I think most people have genuinely never heard a clear explanation of it. Discipline is not willpower. Willpower is finite. It depletes over the course of a day. It fluctuates with your mood and your sleep and your stress levels, and it is an absolutely terrible foundation for any behavior you want to sustain long term. Discipline is not motivation either. Motivation is emotional fuel. It comes and goes completely independently of what you need to get done. Waiting for motivation to do something important is like waiting for good weather to decide whether to eat. The two things have nothing to do with each other. Real discipline, the kind that actually holds up, is a system. It's an environment. It's the deliberate removal of the decision itself from the equation. Let me explain what I mean by that. The reason most people fail at building consistent habits isn't that they don't want it badly enough. It's that they're relying on a daily act of willpower to override a daily act of resistance. Every morning they have to choose again. Every morning the alarm goes off and it's cold and they're tired and they have to make the decision from scratch whether today is a training day. Every evening they have to resist the scroll and choose to read instead. Every time. That's exhausting and it's unnecessary. The people who are genuinely consistent, not performatively consistent, actually consistent, they've mostly eliminated the choice. They've built their life in a way where the default action is the right one. Their running shoes are by the door, their phone charges outside the bedroom, their gym bag is already packed, the friction to do the thing is low, and the friction to avoid the thing is high. That's not inspiration, that's engineering.
Here's where I want to get specific, because I think there's a version of this conversation that stays too abstract. I had a period where I was genuinely trying to read more. Classic self-improvement goal. I tell myself every evening, tonight I'll read before bed. And every evening, without fail, I'd end up on my phone for an hour and then fall asleep. I tried motivation. I told myself how important reading was, what it would do for my thinking, how much I'd regret not doing it. Didn't work. I tried willpower, sheer force of intention. Tonight I will actually do it. Didn't work. What eventually worked was putting my phone in a different room before 9 p.m. and leaving a book on my pillow. No motivation required, no willpower required, just a slightly adjusted environment that made the right choice the easy choice and the wrong choice mildly inconvenient. Within 2 weeks, it was automatic. Within a month, I stopped thinking of it as a discipline challenge at all. It was just what I did. That's the whole secret. That's what nobody tells you. But here's the part I really want to address, because there's something underneath the discipline conversation that almost never gets said out loud. A lot of the time, when people say they lack discipline, what they actually mean is they're trying to be disciplined about the wrong things. Think about that for a second. When discipline feels like grinding, when every day is a battle to force yourself to do things, it's worth asking whether the things you're forcing yourself toward are actually things you want or things you think you should want. Because genuine discipline, the sustainable kind, only works in the direction of something you actually care about, not something that looks impressive, not something someone else told you would make you successful, something that genuinely matters to you. I spent 2 years trying to build discipline around a career path I'd chosen mostly because it made sense on paper, and I was terrible at it. Not because I lacked willpower, because some part of me was constantly working against the direction I was forcing myself to go. The moment I started working towards something I actually gave a damn about, the consistency came almost without effort. Not because I became a different person, because I stopped fighting myself.
Now, I want to talk about the online discipline culture for a minute, because I think it's doing real damage and someone should say it clearly. The 5 a.m. wake up, the ice bath, the no days off mentality, the constant content about grinding and suffering and proving yourself through physical discomfort. Some of that is genuinely useful for some people. I'm not dismissing it entirely, but a lot of it, and pay attention here, is performance. It's identity building through visible suffering. It's discipline as a brand rather than discipline as a tool. And here's how you can tell the difference. Genuine discipline is quiet. It doesn't need an audience. The person who's been training consistently for 10 years doesn't post about it every day because it stopped being interesting to them years ago. It's just Tuesday. The person who posts every single morning workout with a caption about mental toughness is often someone who still needs external validation to keep the behavior going, which means the behavior is still fragile, which means it isn't really discipline yet, it's still motivation. I'm not judging that. I did it, but I am naming it, because if your consistency requires an audience, you haven't actually solved the problem. So what does this all mean practically? What do you actually do with it? 3 things. First, stop trying to motivate yourself into consistency. It doesn't work long term. Design your environment instead. Make the right behaviors easy and the wrong behaviors hard. Remove the decision wherever you can. Second, get honest about whether you're pursuing things you actually want or things that look good, because no system in the world will carry you towards something your gut is quietly rejecting every single day. Third, lower the bar, dramatically, seriously. The reason most people fail at discipline isn't that their goals are too ambitious, it's that their daily minimums are too high. They decide they're going to train 5 days a week and read for an hour every night and meditate every morning and eat perfectly and learn a new skill on the side. And they do it for 11 days and then miss one. And then the whole thing collapses because in their mind, it's all or nothing. The minimum viable version of any habit is worth infinitely more than the perfect version you quit after 2 weeks. 10 minutes of reading beats 0. 1 set beats skipping. A 5-minute walk beats nothing. Start embarrassingly small, stay consistent, let it compound. That's it. That's the whole thing that the discipline industry doesn't want you to tell you because it doesn't sell courses or supplements or color-coded planners.
Real discipline is boring. It's quiet. It doesn't look like anything from the outside. It's just doing the small thing consistently in the right direction for longer than feels necessary. Nobody's going to make a motivational video about that, but that's what actually works. And now you know.